All right. Good evening, distinguished, delectable ladies and gentlemen. How are we feeling this evening? I am Adeza Abdul Hakim Abdul Karim. I am the African Guru. And this evening, we will be having Skills to Gold, our monthly free webinar. And this is the November edition with an amazing theme. We have an amazing speaker where we'll be having a discussion on an interesting theme this evening. We'll be discussing on building a resilient mindset as an entrepreneur, which is something I believe is key to thriving as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is not a train where you get into and you expect it to be smooth sailing all through, to be a smooth ride, right? You have to have the mindset to keep pushing and in the consistent push for more, not minding the challenge. That's where success is bet. With this, I would like to say thank you very much, Inemesit Felix, a distinguished fellow, a prolific speaker, communicator, legal practitioner, a leader par excellence that will be delving into this and having an interesting conversation this evening. How are you feeling this evening, Inemesit?
I feel good, well. Like I told you earlier, I'm in Canada, and even though it's cold outside, I've tried my best to put myself warm. So it's good out here. I feel good.
That is resilience. That is resilience, not minding the challenge, but pushing. So I would like us to start this conversation with a why, all right? Why is resilience critical for entrepreneur? Why is it critical? Why is it important in entrepreneurship? I will go ahead and give a brief description in my own understanding, then I will let you top that. So resilience is an important factor. I will start with Skillstogold and African Guru Academy, how it came to be in existence and how come we're still thriving and pushing today. So I've always had this thought, right? I believe if you have something that is good, you have that skill, you should not be in need of cash. You should not be in need of something to get you going. Skill is indeed gold if you can convert. So I've been asking this question. How do you make earning? How do you make a living from your skill? How do you make your skill to pay you? And the people that respond, some people will say, keep pushing. Some people will say, forget about it, just find a job. That's their mindset, by the way. And I thought about it, it could be more. It could be more. But you have to refine your skill to get it paying you. I joined Toastmasters. It was part of the reason I joined Toastmasters. If you want to grow, find your tribe, find a community of people that does or do what you like. And that way, they will help you to achieve the heights that you want. So in joining Toastmasters, I got to connect with a lot of public speakers, communicators, entrepreneurs, people of like mind that just want to get going. They are go-getters. And with that, I thought about how can I give back, even though I don't really have enough for myself here, but I really want to give back. Then Skillstogold was better, where we help people to identify their unique skill sets, brand it up, and convert it to something meaningful. We've had a lot of roadblocks, right, in terms of finance, being able to gather logistics to put what we're doing together, get the team, get people that will come on this call to speak, right? Then the network had its own challenge. I mean, even today, we had to battle with network consistently. Normal me before would say, after all, nobody's paying me for this. Let's just postpone. I will come back and do this again. But I had to persevere, push through, show up, irrespective of the situation. Let me see. On call right now, we have about 5. Okay, four. Someone just dropped. So 4. Skillstogold, this is a platform that we've had on call over 70 up to 100 in attendance. So irrespective of the number, we still show up and we do it. We don't do it for the clout. We want to put out value and people will benefit. It's content. No matter how little it is, people are still going to benefit. So don't do it for the clout. We do it for the value that we want to put out there. And if it's one person that gets value from this and works with it and achieve the result that we desire, that's a win for us. So the consistent push for more amidst, within the challenge, still pushing for more, staying resilient, that is what we define as resilience in entrepreneurship. For me, But I'd like to get your thoughts on this. Let me not keep on rambling. I can talk. What's your thoughts on this?
I absolutely agree with what you just said, Adesa. I mean, every entrepreneur, if you see them out there on social media, I always, roam through Instagram and I see them talking about how they have to deal with their businesses, the difficulties, the challenges that they face. Every entrepreneur has to be resilient in order to keep pushing forth in his or her craft, So resilience is actually that strength that comes from within. That's how I see it. That helps you to weather through whatever challenge that you're facing, out there as an entrepreneur. Life is really hard. Then if you check out currently entrepreneurs in Nigeria, it's like 10 times harder, given the present economic situation. So they all need to be resilient in order to just weather through the whole changes, they're experiencing. So resilience, every entrepreneur actually needs to be resilient in order to keep going, to keep pushing. I mean, if you're not resilient, who is going to be for you? It's your business, at the end of the day. So I think it's really important for everyone to be resilient in what they are doing to keep their business afloat.
All right. Thank you very much for that pitch in. Thank you. I like that part. It's difficult, and I appreciate you for acknowledging. People think that it's all rose, right? You are an entrepreneur, and it means that the moment you start, you're supposed to be hitting the big bucks. A lot of people come into this field. It's something you do for life. You don't say, I'm an entrepreneur for the next 2 years and I stop. Entrepreneurship is a mindset. So thank you.
Exactly.
We've talked about the why. I would like to discuss on the who. But before I go, I want you to start. Take the lead on that. Who do you think a resilient mindset is actually for?
A resilient mindset is for everybody. We're all humans. Challenges. Being human is synonymous to facing challenges. I mean, you can't run away from it. So everyone needs to be resilient. However, because this particular discussion focusing on entrepreneurs, so all entrepreneurs have to be resilient. You talked about your forum. I've had the privilege of joining a while ago when DTM Stella George was the keynote speaker, and there were a lot of persons, in the meeting room that day. Just imagine coming to your meeting that you've seen lots of people coming in to, derive benefits, and you're finding that number has dropped drastically. It's as if, my goodness, what are we doing here? But like you mentioned, you need to keep pushing. At the end of the day, it's yours. No one can take it away from you. So everybody needs to be resilient. No matter what you're doing, you need to fight for what you're doing. So it's really critical. When I look through the topic, when you invited me to speak on this particular topic, I had to go through research, look at what people are experiencing, experiences, personal stories, and all. And they all have something in common, the difficulty, and then having to go through that phase, and then all of a sudden they conquer, because difficult times end. Actually, it ends. So that difficulty, the phase you're going through, the difficulty, how you're able to cope through, and then coming out victorious. But everybody needs to talk on the matter.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Again, thank you. I agree with you. Everybody does need to be resilient. In entrepreneurship, not just entrepreneurship, where we work, our place of work, we tend to have this attitude. Not everybody, but a lot of people tend to have this attitude that it's not my job. My job is to do ABC. So if it's not working, since it's not specifically mine, I don't care.
Yeah.
The thing is, if that's job or what you guys are supposed to do, if it fails, everybody's affected. You don't get your pay, you don't get to stay employed, and you don't get the benefits of whatever benefit that comes from working wherever you work. So it's everybody's job. If something is failing, how do you contribute your quota to make it a success? How do you contribute your part to make it work? So be it in entrepreneurship, in your space of work, wherever you find yourself, your thought, your orientation should be, how do I make this work? How does my contribution make this succeed? So in my team right now, I've been really busy throughout this week. I didn't really have time to plan this webinar, the publicity. I think that's part of what really affected the turn up for this. But my team were able to work to design the graphics, commence publicity, reach out, and the like. So that's because they have their own sense of commitment. They are also resilient. Okay, this person is not around. What do we do to still make this succeed? It's been going on for a while, and we can't let this fail right now because he's not available. So that part, and I think to an extent, the leaders needs to play their own part in empowering the team members to take charge. Micromanagement should be dropped. It's not a resource that is useful in today's world. Take charge. Let people take charge. You should take initiative and help them to cope. When there's challenge, help them develop that resilient mindset. They shouldn't always fall back on you to say, oh, this has happened. What do we do? Take initiative. What do you think you should do to make it succeed? All right. Thank you very much for that. We've discussed the why, and currently we just finished the who. Now, I'd like to know, in what aspects does resilience play in? Where does it come to play in? Where does resilience matter the most for entrepreneurs right now?
You've already mentioned the one that is, I think it's like on the forefront, and that has to do with teamwork. When you're an entrepreneur, I'm sorry, there's some entrepreneurs that feel like, oh, I can do this by myself, but it's just not possible. You're going to just kill yourself with so much workload because you need a team. Resilience, like it comes into play when you're working with your team, right? When you work with a team, that's, you find out that in some teams, they kind of let you want to do everything on your own, right? That teamwork, that team play doesn't really come into the picture. So resilient, everybody in the team has to be resilient. Like everybody has to bring something to the table. You can't just let one person, walk. You have to show yourself. I mean, it's these people that will give references for you, right? If, for example, you want to get a job, like as an entrepreneur, you want to get a job, somewhere else, they'll be like, oh, how do you think? Wait, you've worked with this person before. What do you think about this person? They speak for you, they help you. So when you're credible amongst your teammates, you find yourself having, great recommendations out there. More work will be given to you. They say when you're succeeding, one of the characteristics of, success is that you'll be given more, responsibilities to deliver on. So a teamwork is really important. That's where resilience really comes to play. And there are so many other aspects. Aside from the entrepreneurs, you also even have to be resilient at home. As a parent, if you have kids, how kids are resilient when you're serving in a leadership position. You're a leader in so many aspects of your life. I know that attribute of being resilient. Where you can be resilient, you have to be resilient in your team, you have to be resilient in your home, you can also be in your social, activities, whether it's associations or whatever, you're resilient. So there's so many aspects of life that particular attributes come to play.
All right, thank you. I agree with you. I mean, even as an entrepreneur, if your home is not balanced, how do you go out there and do what you're expected to do?
Exactly.
Yeah, so that does make sense. And for me, I think it's important in making the money as an entrepreneur. I remember there was a time when I started, I had a discovery session with a client, and I was meant to send in a proposal to work with that person. So I sent in the proposal and I billed the person, I think $500. I got a message of, oh, I'll get back to you. Immediately I thought, okay, was this too much? Should I call the person and tell the person, please, let's reduce it? Should I? Then I started thinking, oh, is it that I'm not good enough to start charging like this? Should I just stop? Should I? A lot of should I, could I, would I started popping into my head. The thing is, after this, it's not just me getting clients. I've recommended clients to people that paid as much as $1,000, $2,000 to work with them. So not just me. I ended up recommending that people get paid for things like this. And this is resilience coming to play in. There's a saying, right, that now who give up, now you fuck up.
Yeah.
You give up.
That's the truth.
When will something happen again? You don't have the opportunity to get a repeat, to get something better coming to playing for you. So it's important to stay resilient, and I agree with you. In the team, it's important. At home, it's important. In your social gathering, associations, and the likes, your field of life, whatever you do, stay resilient. Keep pushing, keep showing up. And when it happens, it does happen. Thank you. I am actually enjoying this conversation. I'm taking down lots of
notes. As well. I'm enjoying. I'm taking notes as well as you're speaking. So it's a two-way thing.
Okay. So we've discussed the why. We've discussed the who. We've discussed the where. Now I want us to talk about the when. When do you think, from your own perspective, when do you think resilience is actually tested the most?
Resilience comes in the most. In fact, that's what gives rise to resilience. It's the challenges. If everything is easy peasy, I mean, you wouldn't be talking about resilience, right? You're going out there. For example, someone who owns, let's say, a hairdressing, someone who's a stylist. You go out there to your salon, customers come in, you have your other stylists you've employed, everybody's making hair, beautiful, the money comes in. And what of the day that you go and there's nobody coming in? That's another thing that, I thought about while looking through the topic. Having to do stuff that kind of aligns with your niche. For example, if you're a hairdresser and not every day you would have people come into your salon, right, to make hair. You have those good days and you have those bad days. Why don't you probably start doing like content creation? You see, something that connects a hairdresser. You can teach people, different styles. You make wise use of social media, right? On the Instagram, you can go there, teach people on how to make hair, do some short videos on how beautiful they would look if they do this particular style, how easy it is to make the style. Before you know, you're raising, followership for your business. And before you know, someone connects you. So aside from the physical store where you have your customers, you have your stylist and all of that, you also have that online store. So that the day this is not working, people make money off social media, right? People make money off social media. So your content can create money for yourself. So that is it. Resilience comes into play when the challenges come. You're being resilient by building something that connects to your business, right? The current business you're having. It's not going to be easy. The social media followership, you may not really have so many people following you, back to back. But when you keep going at it, it shows that you're not just sitting down there. You're not, like we mentioned earlier on, this is your business. Even though you have a team of people helping you, at the end of the day, it's your business. If it folds up, it's your loss, and all that name, that brand you're trying to create goes off as well. So you need to, when the challenges come, for example, like we mentioned, you don't have customers in the physical store, you start building something on the internet. You start looking for other avenues, right? You can also, still on the hairdressing example, you can also decide to probably start selling wigs or selling weave-ons or selling hair accessories. You see, you're doing something that aligns with your goal, which is hairdressing. That is some of the steps you can take having some ancillary goals that align with your big goal of hairdressing, right? That way, you're going through the challenges of not having customers in the physical store by creating something else for yourself. You're creating something else for yourself. You're not just sitting down there. So resilience comes into play when there are challenges, when there are roadblocks. You know, it depends. All this, I give an example. You can use that example to, you know, connect with your own type of business or type of niche you have for yourself. So resilience, challenge, resilience, roadblock. That's how that attributes come to play.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is apt indeed. My take home from what you said, resilience can happen. You have to have that mindset because challenge will come from the start. And during the course of whatever thing you're doing, you're bound to face challenge. And pushing through is what makes you a successful entrepreneur or a person in general. So you have to be ready for it. You have to welcome it. There's a saying that challenge helps to build character. If you pray for wisdom, God will not just bestow wisdom upon you. He will throw challenges your way, and you're forced to find ways to overcome that challenge, to see yourself through it. And in that way, you're building yourself, you're building wisdom, and you can share from your wisdom to others. So it's important. Okay, right now, I would like to know from you, right? What's one challenge that you faced that you've had to build a resilient mindset to overcome, and how did you build that? Let me take that again. What's one challenge that you faced, right, that you had to build a resilient mindset to overcome it, and how did you overcome it?
Okay, I'm going to give an example. It's not really, I'm going to give two examples. The other one will be short, and the other one is going to end badly, and the other one is going to end great. The first example I want to give you is about the business I was running. So I was running this business. I was selling perfumes, right, online. I didn't have a physical store. I just had an online store. So when my supplier sends perfumes, right, my way, my supplier sends perfumes, I'll sell them out. I used to have people even order ahead. Inem, can I have this one? When this perfume comes, please, can you share them with me first? So I have the first peek and all of that. So I used to have people buy those perfumes and all. However, there are some times that I have the perfumes and like I may just have like one customer. You know that thing I was talking about, social media? There's particular social media applications, right, that you may not really be making money through. For example, I was using WhatsApp because I had my own community, people who know me already. They see me posting, so they already understand, oh, this is Inem, this is not scam, right? So I was having the market there, but I decided to venture into Instagram, you know, to have these people. So I started on the campaign on getting followers. I'll post stuff. My dear, no one is liking any of that stuff. I'll still have to go and talk to my people on WhatsApp. Please go and join, go and follow me on Instagram. You know, they are the ones, maybe one or two, who manage to just, you know, come into Instagram. Remember, most of them are not on Instagram. So they even kind of got the link to that Instagram page just to join up and help push my business. So they come and maybe you see one like, and that like would likely be from my sister. Because Instagram, your family, they want to support you in your business and all of that. So I found out that the business wasn't going on Instagram, it was going on WhatsApp. However, I was satisfied with the WhatsApp one. So I had to focus more on WhatsApp. Now, when I moved to another location, that's where the challenge came, because that particular supplier only supplies for that location where I was before. I knew deep down in my mind that I could have found ways to surmount that particular challenge. You know, having to go to a new location. How am I going to get this stuff? If I try to get this stuff from this location to here, it's going to be so expensive. It's like penny wise, pound foolish. I mean, those perfumes, they weren't really expensive, right? It's just something that anyone could afford easily. So I'm like, I tried to wait. I had to check to see if it really makes sense. Am I going to spend this much money to transport these perfumes to this location before selling to persons, and then the profits may not just really make sense? Like, I had to do the math, and it wasn't just making sense. So at that point, I had to actually pause on the business. That's why I said this particular challenge, I had to shelf it for a while. I wouldn't say I didn't succeed, but it just had to be on pending. That's on one side. Now, the other aspect that I wanted to talk about was when I started learning a new language, like completely. We learned French in secondary school, nursery school, the basics, bonjour, bonsoir, and all of that. But that was it. So imagine having to come and learn this language as an adult. You know that the adult brain does not assimilate information like the baby brain. So I'm learning this new language because I needed it for a particular purpose. I needed it for an application. And I knew that this is me. If I don't get this thing, if I don't write these exams and pass, that major break I need is not going to happen. So that resilience came in. As I was learning the language, imagine having to learn a strange language. You're going to have headaches. That one, there's no two ways about it. It comes with headaches because your brain is struggling, to assimilate the new language, trying to adjust. Imagine you're listening to something in French. It was actually French language. You're listening to something in French and you're hearing, but you're not understanding. Nothing is, connecting with your brain. You're going to have a headache. And then in your mind, you know that you must learn, you must understand. So what I did then was I had to look for tools and resources, both human and non-human resources. Human resources, I had to get tutors to help me through. Non-human resources, I had to go on applications, download applications, listen to watch videos, listen to audio books, and so many other things. And I had to do like classes. What I mean with classes, with people that were like me also learning the language. We did personal classes. We also did like a general class. So many things just to be able to learn that language. At some point, I told myself, the big picture. The big picture is that you need to be in this place. It was actually an application to relocate into Canada, right? Because I was in Nigeria for a while. And I'm like, you need to get into Canada. You need this. You don't have a choice. Like, it's this or this. Which will it be? So, and I'm doing all these things just to be able to help myself to pass that exams. It was really difficult, late night, because those classes were at night. You're back from work, you have to rest, but you can't because you have to do those classes. And then I'm late night, I'm doing those videos, I'm having headaches and all of that. And then I go to take the exams. I took the exams 3 times. The first time I took the exam, I was like, you're joking. You have not started. Like, the second time I went again, but one particular competence was a problem. Because you have to have you have to be at par for all the competencies, the speaking, the listening, the reading, and what's the other one?
Writing.
The listening, reading, speaking, and the writing, exactly. So everything has to be at par. So you can't have one dragging you down. So I had to go again the third time, and that really, went through. So with all of this, you see all the roadblocks that came, the language being to go to the application, spend time having to give something to get the other. So all these things all led to me passing my exams and, actually having my application and coming into Canada. So this particular one was a success story, even though there were challenges, right? So this is actually my own personal story, my experience on how I was able to be resilient in order to, achieve the goal that I had to. The other one is still pending. Hopefully with time, I'm going to go back to it to see how I can, get back to that business. But for now, that is my example. That's my experience for how I was able to, go through it.
Thank you for sharing your story. It's a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing. I mean, imagine learning a new language. I'm just thinking about it. I probably would have just said, see, no be by force. Just drop
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
And yes, and right now it's benefiting you, it's paying you.
Yes. Oh, it
You're
is.
getting the
It really
dividends.
is. Exactly. Exactly.
So there's something you said that's a take home for me. No choice. You know, when you're at a point when you know this is a do or a die affair, you know
Yes.
giving up
Yes.
is not an option. So that
Exactly.
seemed to play out. And you said another thing, you had to write this exam 3 times. That shows if it
Yes.
doesn't work
Three
out the first
times.
time, don't give up. Keep trying.
Exactly. Yeah.
So long there's still life and so long it's possible, so don't give up on what you can try again. Keep trying.
Yes.
So I like that. I like that part. There you have it. In whatever aspects or field you find yourself, so long there's life, if it is repeatable, don't feel defeated. Keep trying until you hit your mark. Be it in getting your clients, be it in selling your products, be it in securing a job, be it in starting your business or scaling your business or rebranding. If it is possible to retry, don't give up. Keep at it. And the first one you talked about, I think it's also important to choose your battle. When you know that this is not the right time, it's okay to put it on pause
Exactly.
until you're ready to try again. This is really fantastic. So for the guests that we have listening in, please note that you can ask question and we'll be heading into the question and answer segment shortly. So prepare your question and you can ask, then we just share and deliberate. This is a discussion. We're all learning here. So thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would like to know, right? We've discussed the how, the where, the who, the when, the what on this whole theme that we're discussing tonight, which is building a resilient mindset as an entrepreneur. And it's not just for entrepreneur. To me, I believe everybody's an entrepreneur. This is a marketplace. We all trade it. Only that some people are more of buying than selling. So all your resource and funds, you're giving it to people. You're trading, you're giving the teachers the money. You want to learn something new for your children, for your wards, you're paying them. You go to the market, you pay people to buy foodstuff, to buy groceries and the rest. You keep paying. So who is paying you? If your boss is the only one paying you and you're waiting for 30 days to get a paycheck, trust me, you don't have the right to complain about the economy. Find a way to make other people pay you. It's a marketplace. We live in a global market. It's a transactional world. It's either you're paying or somebody's paying you, but trust me, payment is always happening. So try as much as possible to be on the receiving end. Don't just be a giver, receive also. And you cannot receive until you start, right? And when you start, it doesn't mean that the pay will come immediately. You have to build a brand for people to engage with you. And in order to build a brand, you need resilience. It's not easy. Anybody that tells you that it's easy, that's the biggest joke of the century. It's not easy. You keep at it. The biggest entrepreneurs we know today, the biggest public speaker, the biggest leaders, the brands that we know of today, you need to hear their story. You need to read their biography. They had to surmount certain challenges. I mean, Coca-Cola, when they started, I read that they only sold about 3 bottles. Imagine starting a global brand and you sold just 3 bottles
Three
after
battles.
massive publicity. People are like, okay, this is not just it. Let me throw it away. Jack Ma, the CEO of one of the largest e-commerce industry in the world, was rejected multiple times for jobs. Jobs that is like breezeless for lots of people. He goes there and the village factor sets in. His village people are following up on him. But today, look where he is. The Warren Buffett, the Obama, for God's sake, they had stories. So this is you creating your story. Keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. Stay resilient until you hit your mark. And even when you hit your mark, still keep at it. So at this junction, I would say we're open for question. If you have any question, please feel free to ask and let's get it sorted. We want people making the money, but not just the money. Have the mindset that you're bringing value and you get value in return. So yes, question. Please, Fauzia, go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Good evening, moderators.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I must say that this session is really interesting, enlightening, and educative. I'm really enjoying it. And to say that I just came across the flyer when the program already started and I joined. So I've been enjoying it since I joined the webinar. So mine is not really a question, but more elaboration. Like it is said, success is not a destination. It's not a destination. It's a journey. So will it be right if we say resilience is not a destination? It's also a journey. So this is what I would like you to elaborate on, please.
Okay. Can I speak, Aliza?
Please go ahead.
Okay. So you're actually correct, Fauzia. Did I get your name correct? Fauzia, right?
Yes, you did. You did.
Okay. Okay, you're actually correct. Resilience is actually a journey. It's not a destination. You know, I gave that example of that perfume business that I was doing. Trust me, I'm going to go back to my perfume business. That one is for sure. Because I know, aside from the fact that it was thriving while I was doing it, right? I just love perfumes. You know, when you wear a perfume and you pass by and someone's like, oh, wow, you smell nice and all of that. It's just something I love. Sometimes, even when I realize that maybe I haven't really made sale the way I would want to, I use my perfumes, right? I can take them, use them, and I feel good. Like there's that sense of satisfaction. It's not wasted. So I love what I'm doing perfume business. So in that case, my perfume business, the fact that I have just shelved it for the moment doesn't mean that that's the end. It's actually a journey, and it would continue to be a journey in everything we do in life, business, whatever. We keep going. That's the encouragement we give out there. You don't want to, just dump your business because you feel like you're not able to overcome the challenges. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. You just have to find ways. There's so many ways in which you can, cope and manage through the hardness or the hard times. And so it's really not a destination. It's actually a journey. You find yourself relearning, unlearning, learning new strategies on how to manage through the particular hurdle. You just don't stop. You will see the results. It may not even be like big results, small results, but at least you can see some small improvement. You keep going. You keep going. That's the resilience we're talking about. You can't do without it. That's just it. Keep going with it. It's a journey, not a destination. You're correct, Fazia.
Thank you very much. Let me quickly add
Thank
to
you
that.
so much.
Let me quickly add to that. Thank you for that. Yes, it's a journey, not the destination. There's a saying, and it's my saying. When passion meets profits continuously, then a legacy is born. If you're passionate about something and that thing is paying you, you only keep doing more, right? And to do more means to grow, to expand, to be more, to be better, to give more value. The money keeps coming in, the value keeps coming in, the recognition keeps coming in. You already have a legacy that you don't need to the point that you don't need to introduce yourself. At any point in time, challenges keep showing up. There's no stopping it. It keeps showing up. When you feel like you've gotten A sorted, B just shows up out of nowhere. So if you're not resilient, what happens at that point? You give up. So business moves from different stages to different stages. There's a stage where we call it the ideation. It's just an idea. It's not started yet. And when you get started, you're at the startup phase. And at that point, there are certain obstacles that you have to push through. And when you overcome that, you're flowing now. You have a stable business. Then another challenge comes in because you're thinking of scaling and something is stopping you. You have to surmount that challenge to scale. And when you scale to a certain level, you have to surmount another challenge. So challenge keeps showing up, and your ability to build the mindset to stay resilient, to persevere amidst this challenge and chaos, that makes you a true entrepreneur. irrespective of who you are, be it you're not doing a business and you're still working for someone. Entrepreneurship is a mindset, and it's a mindset that comes with being resilient. So yes, I agree. It's a continuous process. And thank you very much for that. That's a very interesting
Very
question.
nice. Yes,
Yes,
very nice point. Yes.
It is.
Very nice. In fact, I've written it down. Like, just like success, resilience is a journey and not a destination. It's really great. Thank you so much, Fozia.
I think we would have a quote on that. That will be shared.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Fauzia. Thank you. So we'll take one more if there is any more before we call this evening session a close. So just one more. One more. If there's none, I think I have one. Let's see if there's any.
Oh, don't beat me to it. Since there is no other question, can I ask another one?
Please go ahead.
Go on.
This is actually a question. Like when at the beginning, Mr. Adiza, you spoke about not only resilience in entrepreneurship, but also in place of work. Yes, that is where my question is coming from. Like, I belong to an organization where, yes, we're expected to give our best, to volunteer and everything. What happens if you're so determined to volunteer your time, your resources and everything? You're very determined, you love being there, but yet there are other members of the organization. You see so many vices where, kind of politics, and it's like kind of hindering you from offering your best. It's easy to say, okay, I quit, I'm not doing. But there is a lot of, the outcome from that place is really beneficial. Let me put it that way. So what do you do? How do you encourage yourself to be resilient, to stay in such an environment where you feel there's a lot of the energy you're getting from there is not, it's not favorable. It's not from the organizational structure, no, but from individuals. So how do you motivate yourself in this case to keep going?
You have a way of asking fantastic questions.
Yeah, very amazing. My goodness.
Thank you.
And very nice. I like it. Yeah.
Okay, I will share from experience. I actually belong to an organization that I thought of quitting a while ago. I think about a year ago, I thought of quitting that organization. A lot of benefits. But to an extent that I thought the environment was becoming toxic. And why stay in a toxic environment? Then a mentor of mine reminded me of something. If you're somewhere, there's a reason you're there. And the reason anybody is on earth is to connect. And in order to connect, you would have to relate with a lot of things, people, environment, and the likes. Because you don't like how somebody smiles at you or how somebody says what somebody says, doesn't mean that that person will stop, right? You have to learn how to work with that set of people. So let me come back to my own now. There's a reason I'm in that organization. There's something I'm supposed to handle. And the aim is for me to produce results in where I find myself. If for any reason you're stopping me from producing results, I would have a conversation with you. I did have that conversation informally. Okay, let me get to know what's your reason. Why exactly are you not doing what you're supposed to be doing? What's the roadblock? And how do we help to sort this? Is it that I'm the one that is seen as if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, and meanwhile the fault is from me? So dialogue has a way of bringing out a lot of hidden bottlenecks. And in that dialogue, we're able to resolve, and I found my own gap, what I thought I was doing well, and it's the reason somebody is giving me a response or a feedback that I wasn't expecting. Communication. That open dialogue helped in. Am I audible? I feel like I'm breaking. Can you hear me?
We're hearing you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Very well.
Yes, so that open dialogue helped in opening up a lot of bottleneck, and we're able to resolve. I was able to understand why some people do what they do. And I was able to understand the role my presence played in their response and their feedback. So we were able to resolve it, and we came to a compromise. So I would say open dialogue, yes. But the most important thing is remember why you're there. Why do you do what you do? Then dialogue, communicates, then come to a compromise. You will get, it might not exactly be 100%, but you get something better that will make it more favorable and more conducive to work. Does that respond to your question? I also let
yes, wonderfully well. Wonderfully well.
Yes. Okay. I also like to chip in something, right? I agree with Adeza on having open dialogue with whoever you're having that conflict, whoever is trying to put a start, the whole politics and all of that. I 100% agree with it. However, in addition, or if that one doesn't work, you also have to learn to play politics. When I say play politics, I'm not saying be dirty or do evil stuff, right? You have to be able to learn this person to be one step ahead of the person. I want to believe that you are talking about your team members, right? Trying to make you, are they trying to make you look bad in the workplace?
Yeah, something like that.
Like, are they trying to, so you have to be one step ahead. I've had experiences of people who have had this same reactions from their team members. So you have to also learn to play the politics. When I mean play the politics, you have to always be ahead of them. You also have to be diplomatic and handle stuff, apply wisdom and tact, right? And then you also, I think that the most important one is because these people who are looking to bring you down, they'll always be looking for ways to set traps and all of this. So you always have to be you always have to be doing your job, everything that entails, everything about your work. Don't be found wanting, just keep doing your work. You have a job description or a particular project you're handling, you already know what it takes to achieve that project. Make sure that you are 100%, okay, maybe not 100% because you're a human, but 99% doing what you're supposed to do so that you're not found wanting. So whatever trap they're setting for you, it's not going to work. I've been in a workplace where that politics they play, especially in the government, offices. You see people looking for how to bring you down. The new administration comes in, everybody's, oh, these are my people. And then you're suddenly like an outsider, in your team. So just do what you have to do your work properly, make sure, and then learn, and you've learned them, you know who they are now, so that you can know how to be one step ahead of these persons, right? So you don't find yourself in their traps. Do your job well, do everything. Don't be found wanting. And I think you'll be good to go. No one can set a trap for you if you're doing something bad, right? Like if you're not doing your job, if you're doing what you have to do, it is it's going to be very difficult for them to, set traps for you and, just pose a roadblock or a challenge for you. So that's how I see it, my own personal experience, and from what I hear, people's stories. So, Fauzia, I hope that helps.
So much.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. In fact, I'm taking a phrase with me: be a step ahead.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
All right, this is it. I wanted bringing this to a close, but Hassan Labo has a question. Okay, perhaps let's do that quickly so we can wrap it up. Yes. Please go ahead, unmute and ask your question.
All right, sir. Good evening. Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator, and thank you so much, Madam Facilitator. Well, my question here is, even though everything was being said, and I really like the questions Fauzia asked, because my question was related to that. But what's the let me
go ahead, please.
Is there any
okay, is it just me? I can't hear him.
Time frame, also time distance.
I can hear you clearly.
Okay. So my question is there any time frame maybe that I can put in mind that this business is not going to work? I should just back off and do something because I demonstrated all the resilience that maybe I have to. I put much resources, time, energy, and money. So what can I do if I see the thing is not yielding the result that I wanted? So this is my question. Thank
you. I thought about this, while I was speaking, because I mean, you all about resilience, being strong, but then at the end of the day, we're humans and we can actually give in. Like, you can throw in the towel and say, oh, I'm not doing this anymore. So if you have explored all options, you have tried all the tactics, all the techniques, you've all the coping mechanisms to manage through, and you really know that 100%. After all, you see businesses go bankrupt and, they do the bankrupt proceedings and it's gone. If you've explored all options, you've weighed all your losses and everything, and you know that, oh, it's time to really say goodbye. Really, it's sad, but at least, I don't know, isn't it time to say goodbye? Wouldn't it be time to say goodbye?
Let me respond to that. I'm a big believer of Skillstogold, hence the reason Skillstogold. I believe entrepreneurship is not what you venture into because you think other people are doing it. Or rather, you don't start a business because you think somebody is doing it. I see Fauzia, she's running a fantastic business selling, let's say maybe she's selling perfumes. Let me use that example. And I say, oh, she seems to be making a lot of profit. Let me venture into that. Venture into what you're passionate about. If you're passionate enough about something, you don't give up on it. No mother would say, I've tried my best as my child. I sent you to school. I paid your school fees. I gave you food. And you don't want to know book. In fact, get out of my house. You're useless. You still try. You still try as much as possible. You find external tutors. You find something. You just still keep trying until it works out. So if you're really passionate about it, you keep finding a way. You don't throw a child away because the child is dirty. You don't throw a child away because that child doesn't want to learn. Yes. It's your child. You love that child. So you try your best to ensure that child grows. Except you're not passionate about it. If you know it's not something that has meaning to you, by all means, let it go if it's not working. But if it's passionate, if you're passionate about it, if it's a passion for you, if it's something you want to build your legacy on, please don't quit. Keep striving. Source for external help if you need to. But by all means, keep trying and it will grow. All right.
And I also realized.
Okay, please go ahead.
Hand is up.
Okay.
I just wanted to add.
Okay,
I just wanted to add. Like he said, is there a time frame where you think your business should close down? Well, what I want to add is when you're in business, challenges will keep coming. Challenges will keep coming day after day, day after day. So it's that being resilient that will make you conquer the challenges or pass through the challenges with ease. So what I think is the only time that you think your business should close down is when your books are not smiling, when your books are so bad, when you're running at a loss and that it's critically bad. But if your books, your financial records are going on well, just keep, what's the word? Like swim with the tide, because challenges will keep coming higher and fire. Like just keep going. Once your books, it's only your books that can tell you to quit or not. Well, that's it. That's what I wanted to add.
All right. Thank you very much. I think our time has been fast spent. So at this junction, I would just like to get closing words from our dear Inemesis. It's a beautiful smile. So your final thoughts.
My final thought is that everyone who is struggling or striving to keep the business afloat in whatever aspect of your life, wherever you are, you just have to be resilient. Like, it can't be overemphasized. We have to be resilient in what we're doing. We have to find ways to keep going. Because at the end of the day, when the success comes, I think that's the whole essence, doing a business. You want to be successful. So when those challenges come, be resilient, keep pushing, keep going. And you'd be happy when you see that your business, your projects have succeeded. You'd be happy. So just keep pushing, keep going, don't give up, keep at it.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. There you have it. Keep at it. Don't give up. Now, who give up? Naim fuck up. Pardon my French.
Yes.
Don't give up. Keep at it. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. And success is not at the end of the tunnel, but it's the journey. Don't wait for a specific destination to enjoy it. Enjoy the process. You're an entrepreneur. Before you tell the story of being a millionaire, enjoy being a thousandaire. Before you tell the story of being a millionaire, enjoy being a millionaire. And when you get to the billions, I mean, we have billionaires right now that are aiming for trillion, right? And it's possible in the next couple of years or decades, we can have the world first trillionaire. And they would start telling the story of when they were billionaires. So enjoy the process. And you would have a story. We're all creating our story. So enjoy the story, enjoy the process. Thank you very much for staying with us till the very end of this series. For some reason,
thank you so much for having me.
It felt so intimate. We're not much in the room, but the conversation was
yes, I agree with you.
So thank you. Do enjoy the rest of your evening and the rest of your day.
Yes.
Thank you, Nemesis. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes. Really appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Thank you very